Spring 1865. America, exhausted after 4 years of bloody civil war, finally took a breath. Southern cities lay in ruins, but in people's hearts there was a fragile hope. The worst was over. In Mobile, a quiet port city in Alabama, men were returning home. Women were rebuilding households from ashes. The city was trying to be reborn. But peace didn't last long. Just a few weeks after the Confederacy's surrender, another apocalypse struck in a single, terrifying moment. May 26, 1865. In the heart of Mobile, along the waterfront, massive stockpiles of ammunition were stored, remnants of the war that had just ended. More than 200 tons of deadly cargo, gunpowder, grenades, artillery shells. No one believed they were a danger, yet they turned a peaceful city into hell. In seconds, a monstrous explosion thundered. The shockwave leveled entire blocks. The ground shook like a volcanic eruption. Fire and debris roared into the sky, and the blast was heard for miles. In villages 50 miles away, windows shattered. At the site of the depot, a crater opened, deep as a 3-story building. It filled with water and for decades remained a sinister lake. A silent reminder of the moment when an entire city's life stopped. More than 300 people were killed instantly. Thousands were injured. For weeks, bodies were searched for among the ruins, often finding no trace of entire families. Where life had bustled that very morning, only charred wreckage and emptiness remained. Mobile was brought to its knees. The scale of destruction made it seem as if a new war had struck. Northern newspapers rushed to accuse former Confederates, calling it sabotage, an act of revenge. But no proof ever surfaced. It looked instead as though death had come on its own, sudden, unstoppable, almost like a warning of weapons yet to be invented. What happened in Mobile would later be compared to the first atomic blast, so immense was the power of its destruction. The city struggled for decades to recover. People rebuilt homes, tried to move forward, but the scars remained. For those who lived through the blast, the world was never the same. And yet the most haunting part of this story isn't only in the number of victims or even the force of the explosion. It lies in the mystery it left behind. What caused it? Carelessness by workers, a stray spark, or a carefully planned act of sabotage? To this day, no answer exists. Today, the tragedy is rarely remembered. It has faded into the shadows of the Civil War, left as a forgotten epilogue to its horrors. But for historians and for those who once lived in its wake, a wound remains, just like the crater in Mobile's earth, still filled with water and silence, as if guarding its secret. A century and a half later, we are still asking the same question. Was the Mobile explosion a tragic accident, or the war's final strike in a conflict that was supposed to be over?